Å, fy fader! Jeg filmer det, jeg har det på tape! Jeg har det her! Å, dæven!
Dr. Eric W. Davis is an astrophysicist specializing in advanced propulsion physics and quantum mechanics. He earned his PhD from the University of Arizona and has worked as a research physicist for EarthTech International, the National Institute for Discovery Science, and as a contractor for the U.S. Department of Defense and NASA. Dr. Davis was a key scientist in the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Applications Program and its successor, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. His work involved analyzing unidentified aerial phenomena and studying metamaterials allegedly recovered from off-world vehicles. These materials reportedly exhibit anomalous isotopic ratios and properties inconsistent with known human-made alloys. In this May 2025 UAP hearing, Dr. Davis speaks about advanced propulsion technology, warps in space-time, how UFOs and their pilots may be traveling to and from Earth, and the types of alien species of which the government has been aware for several decades.
What's your understanding of the physics or the likely propulsion technology? What is your assessment of what the capabilities are and how it's being achieved? And then also, what I want to ask about materials and energy as well.
We can only speculate. These things are so far advanced, we can only speculate. The best speculation I can come up with is General Relativity does a great job predicting something like a warp bubble. UAP do exhibit the phenomenon of sublight or less than light speed warp bubbles. However, that becomes a challenge when we talk about UAP that dive into the ocean and climb up out of the ocean, in the ocean and up in the air. So warp.
So it's not warping space-time.
It's a warp in space-time. Yeah, but that's just Einstein general theory of.
Yeah.
And so the problem is,
It doesn't gravity warp space-time,
that's right.
right?
Yeah.
So these objects are changing space-time around them.
Yeah, they have a thin shell of energy, and the type of energy it has to be would have to be negative energy density, and it would be consistent with the type of energy density that you can create in quantum vacuum. And examples of that are the Casimir cavity. There's a little vacuum region that's bound by the two plates of the cavity. There's also squeeze states of light, where that's a laser beam, where you're going to take some part of canonical noise fluctuations from out of that part of the beam you're not interested in and pile it up elsewhere in the phase space, and this is getting real technical. So I'll just kind of keep it this way. You're going to take the quantum vacuum fluctuation that we know is quantum noise, shock waves and laser beams. You're going to pile it up somewhere else in an area you're not interested in measuring, and you only want to measure the amplitude of that beam. And at that point, when you take the quantum vacuum fluctuations out of that amplitude, that energy density goes negative. And the energy density is the square of the amplitude. So that goes into it. And that's an example of big energy. The mass of the Earth creates space-time curvature.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, so that space-time curvature, which we feel is the force of gravity on the surface of the Earth, it drags down quantum fluctuations in the quantum fields that are out in space near the Earth, in the vicinity of the Earth. And that energy density happens to be negative. And so this is an example of theoretically predicted astronomical sources of negative energy as well as planetary sources of negative energy. So that's what you need to build a work on. And that's what you need to build a construct a shell.
And just a brief comment of clarification. We have two pillars of modern physics, quantum mechanics and Einstein's theory of gravity, which is curvature of space-time.
Right.
We don't have a reliable theory that combines the
That's right.
quantum gravity. So what we are hearing is speculation. We do not have the knowledge to figure out if you can create curvature of space-time out of negative energy density because we have never mastered this technology. We don't have an understanding of that. So it's possible that, a millennium from now, we'll have those quantum gravity engineers. That's possible. Currently, we just, are just like too primitive technologically to figure it out. The question is there something in possession of government that the scientists should look into? And, I would love to help government figure it out because it may guide us about the theory of quantum gravity if we have some.
Yeah. So we have some ideas about these things, and we can speculate on what the best approach to take to go work bubble or the shell of negative energy that would create a terrestrial world and should be a shortcut through space by equal to is the points. But we have craft in our possession. There are no physicists that are currently working in those programs. So basically mechanical, aerodynamics, aerospace, thermal control engineers, electronic, electrical engineers, and material scientists. And material science is a part of engineering on. Usually kind of overlaps chemistry as well. And they've never had a physicist like him or I. They've never had an applied physicist or an experimental physicist. And so they are really lacking in the ability to understand how these things work.
So the latest program is very insulated and insular. So unfortunately, it's a bit of a, forgive my approach here, but a bit of an incestuous community. There's not a whole lot of outside involvement because it is so highly classified, and that's been some of the frustration and I think challenges, technologically speaking, because we haven't been able to recently apply new talent, new ideas, new theories to what may be what the U.S. government may be in possession of.
What about the energy potential?
The energy is a question of how much
I'm sure we're seeing, right?
Yeah, I haven't been able to access that.
Dr. Davis, can you talk for a moment, about the limits and the calculations for the object to go from 80,000 feet within less than a second and 50 feet over the water? What type of energy we want to talk about?
Hundreds of times the total electrical energy produced in the United States annually. That's the kind of energy that is representative of the observed features and performances of UAP craft, especially the Tic Tac that the units we had in November of 2004. And so hundreds and hundreds of times when the United States produced an annual electrical power. And so that compares really well with interstellar spacecraft that would travel relativistic or ultra relativistic being anywhere from 90 to 99% speed of light. The energy is astronomically huge. So these craft, I don't have the security clearance that I need to know to get access to the technical details, but I am being to understand that the craft consisted in size with the Tic Tac, even double the size of the Tic Tac. That would be up to about 100 feet long by 50 feet diameter at that time. Boomerang-shaped craft, arrow-shaped craft, Hollywood-shaped craft, and so forth. The biggest one that had been observed, especially that we investigated at units in 1989, involving Sky Force Space. That one was a 600-foot long craft, and it was about roughly 100 feet tall. And so they don't have possession of a craft like that. I've never been told that. It's usually the more manned scale.
So they couldn't move.
Yeah.
So we might be able to
Yeah, so we can only speculate. I know Jim Dasty wrote in his book, I don't remember the title of it, but anyway, it was cooperating Colin Keller while working with it, and George Knapp, KLIS TV in Las Vegas. And so Jim mentioned, and Jim was the program manager for the AAS, the OSAM, the AAS, WAP, I think it was. And so basically he described in his book, somebody, I don't know if it was him because he never, I think he said it was him, went inside of these craft that he had access to, and they didn't recognize any propulsion or power devices or systems inside the craft. It was completely unusual. Travis Taylor and I have speculated that possibly they're teleporting energy from a remote physical location where the energy produced is done away from the craft. And that's how the craft can move around without having to carry propellant or rocket engine or an advanced warp drive engine on it. That's one possibility that we speculated.
On the material, so what you have me thinking is carbon can take multiple forms, right? And are you saying that is the same with other material, other elements? The way in which what we found is different forms of these elements that we have.
It would be different alloys, it would be different combinations of the elements.
And nice living ratios as well, correct?
Yeah. So you're going to have a variety of whatever structural part of this that came out with UAP, I don't know because I wasn't, I didn't have that's way better knowledge just like the access. I only had TSS and that. So at the SCI level, I was informed that there would be combination developments from the periodic table, combination of their isotopes. So we have a variety of elements and they naturally occur with some isotopes of them mixed together in a certain way, and then they're structurally built in a very unusual way that even today we have no equivalent or analog to. So this is about as much valuable information as the SCI level.
Do you have or can you comment on whatever species have been piloting these craft? How are they large? Are they multiple species? Are they like what was their size and how many are usually on craft?
They're typically the multiple species people really like the grays, the Nordics. People were talking about reptilians and insectoids as though they're reptilian or insectoids that they resemble to the recipient of reptile or an insect type humanoid because they have this head and 4 limbs and torso.
So large, small,
Human size, human scale.
and are there how many are accrued?
Well, the grays I'm familiar with from investigating the crash at Colonial, which is misnamed the crash in Roswell. It's not the crash in Roswell, it's the crash in Brooklyn, that's the those were grays, those are both the tall. And the Nordics are typically human size, probably, I from 5-6 feet tall. And same with the people who mislabel reptilian and insectoid, they're roughly that top height too. I haven't heard anything about anything 7 or 8 feet in length of that nature.
So,
Folks, we're going to use it for talking. I went down the wrong down.
Dr. Eric Davis has provided critical scientific validation for UFOs exhibiting transmedium capabilities, effortlessly moving between space, air, and water. In interviews and classified briefings, he highlighted cases like the 2004 USS Nimitz encounter, where a Tic-Tac UFO was tracked, diving into the ocean at hypersonic speeds without hydrodynamic drag. Davis theorized that these objects may manipulate space-time or inertial mass to defy known physics, suggesting propulsion systems far beyond human technology. The doctor's work implies that UAPs may use water for stealth, energy harvesting, or as a transit medium, a notion backed by military data and advanced physics research. I now leave you with footage from 1994, where a group of fishermen spot several orange lights hovering above the horizon. We have seen countless videos like this over the past several decades, leading to the conclusion this phenomena is present in our oceans as well.
Matt driving a boat home after a rough day out in the ocean. We're either being surrounded by friggin' UFOs or the Coast Guard. I want to say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lights we see there. They've been coming on, they worked 7 lights.